Hello. Today we'll talk about everything at once. Everything. At least everything interesting. First, let's repeat our last video in short. Why space and time don't exist. Short explanation. My right hand, my left hand. You would think they are different hands. You would say when I bend my right hand, my left hand doesn't move, and they're located in different positions and different coordinates. But that's not so. And they are different in time and in space. No, they're the same. Because if you take me as a whole organism, these two hands are both me. And I gave you last time an example of sending a parcel from Japan to Los Angeles. For a person in Los Angeles that's waiting for a parcel from eBay in Los Angeles from Japan, he waits for weeks, and of course, the parcel travels a lot of. Um, wait. He waits for a lot of time, and uh, the parcel travels a lot of space. But if you take the whole Earth, for the whole Earth, the parcel was on Earth and it never traveled anywhere. It was on Earth. It uh, took no time at all because even the goal wasn't set to send it. The same with the moon. If you send something to the moon, to the sun, to Mars, for us, because we're small and stupid, and we will discuss that later, why we're stupid, Brodmann area here, uh, for the universe, no, first for our galaxy. For the galaxy, this travel to Mars doesn't exist because it wasn't our galaxy and is in our galaxy. It took no time, no space. The same with the whole universe. If everything exists in the universe at the same time, I said time doesn't exist. If it's the whole universe, one, there's just one, the universe. So everything is there. And there is no time, nothing travels. Okay, next. We discussed why space and time shortly from a previous video don't exist, in my opinion at least. I have an opinion because I'm a human being and I have this Brodmann area here. So, then, what else? Uh, why death doesn't exist and life doesn't exist? Why there's no difference in life and death? Maybe. Okay, let's go with that. So, on our courses in the university, we had this clever professor, a woman, and she didn't lie to us. What I'm thankful to her for is that she didn't pretend she knows uh, the truth. Maybe another thing that. No, first, let's discuss why there's no truth, no wrong, uh, why there are no laws of physics, at least. Why nothing can be expressed. I said nothing. Well, something could be expressed, but Not the truth can be expressed with languages. Okay, first let's discuss this. Why anything you say or other people say is wrong. Why is that? Because language was developed, all the languages originating from Proto Indo European languages were made by our ancestors. And they were our ancestors. They were not scientists. Sometimes they were cavemen. And when you say truth, what is truth? For me, it's my truth. For you, it's your truth. Mm, that's quite a humanitarian thing to discuss, not worth mentioning. But let's go deeper. What is the law of physics? What is the law of physics? First, the term law is an emotional term. The term law is an emotional word. It's not logical. Law. Isaac Newton discovered, so called discovered, because words are lying about anything. Uh, the gravity when an apple fell onto his head, they say. And he made the law of physics, gravity and everything else. But it's not the law. What it was a observation. It was an observation. Like, you observe a movie, you watch a movie, and you don't make the movie a law. It's a movie for entertainment. You just watched it, you heard a radio speak and play music. If you heard a melody, it's an observation of musical notes. It's not a law. So, Isaac Newton is known for the three laws of mechanics. They're not laws, they're observations. An apple fell onto his head and he like watched a movie or listened to a song. It's an observation. Uh, so the laws of physics. I'm asking this because I had thought, do the laws of physics exist if the law is an emotional, not logical, not scientific term? Laws of physics. And I think that it's a lie, basically, that is harmful to children to teach at school, that there are laws and call them observations. Observations of Newton is okay, just Newton's observations that a moving body tends to move on, a static body tends to stay still. That's an observation, but no, there comes a lot of humanitarians come and say it's a law. It's a law. So what is a law? Law means that someone like God or universe with a long white beard had to sign a paper and put a stamp on it. It's a law. and if you don't obey it, you will be punished. No. In physics, there is no emotional terms. It's an observation. It's not a law. You can't define a law. Okay. Now, knowing this, knowing, at least in my understanding of this, that there is just one, the universe itself, everything else is the fractions, are the fractions of one. Like 0.000, if you believe in math, because numbers don't exist too, in my opinion. I explained to you why they don't exist. Universe, time and space don't exist. 0.000 point 1 portion of it is everything else in the galaxy, including me and you and humans. And the only one there is the galaxy as a whole itself. Not the galaxy, the universe, sorry. Freudian slip. The universe itself as a whole. Okay. Now that we understand these things, back to my teacher in university. She introduced us to the term scientific paradigm or paradigm. Paradigm, scientific paradigm. What it is? It's the modern knowledge and understanding of modern scientists and people about things. Modern understanding. Before, the paradigms were different. People believed that Earth was flat. People believed that lightnings were produced by gods like Zeus on Mount Olympus and other things. People didn't understand fire. They thought that fire is thrown at them by gods. Those were their paradigms in the past. If we believe in time, of course. But I think some of us believe that there were times when people believed in these things, that fire is something scary, that earth is flat, so on and so on. Those were their paradigms, and we have our paradigm. And she introduced us to the term paradigm. Paradigm is evolving. Every time science evolves, we get a new paradigm. Something is corrected, something is discovered, something is invented when you get a new paradigm. Okay. And I'm thankful to her that she was frank with us. She didn't lie. She said it's a modern paradigm. Basically, what we do with a paradigm, we believe in it, meaning that we don't know it. All we can do with it is just believe with our hearts, not knowing if it's true. And as long as we believed in science, she introduced us to all the to paradigms of that time, of the early 2000s, of the universe and what life is. She introduced that there are theories inside a paradigm. Theories of modern universe, modern, just universe, that one theory that it's still, that it just existed, that's it. It exists, period. Second theory, that it is expanding, and it will expand forever. It will expand forever. That was second theory. Third theory, that it is vibrating, meaning that it first expands because some scientists saw the red shift in telescopes, which means, not means, they believe that it's expanding. So it's expanding, but then it collapses back. And then it starts expanding again, and then it collapses back, and so on and on for infinity. That's something that I think I'm close to believing. If it expands and collapses for infinity, it means that every moment, every person, everything at all existed all the time and will be existing all the time and exists now for infinite amount of times. Infinity. No number. Infinity. Which actually makes it close to like zero because you cannot actually understand infinity and you cannot understand zero. Okay? Uh, so let's uh, I discovered this in previous videos, so probably I won't talk about this now, why I believe in this theory that everything existed, everything is everywhere, everyone is everyone, time doesn't exist. I was sitting here for eternity, I will be sitting here for eternity, you will be watching this for eternity, and this happened infinite amounts of time, and everything else will be happening for infinite amount of time, all the time, without time, in every point of the universe, because space doesn't exist. Now this leads us to why I believe in this. I believe that's because we have a brain. Our understanding of things is understanding by a human brain, right? So the most important thing that we think with is our brain. And this brain is not perfect, and some people could actually call it small, our brain. For example, if my brain was the whole universe, you wouldn't see me, you wouldn't see this jacket. My brain would be everywhere. But no. No, I mean, language is designed to lie, but actually, yes, actually it is. But for simplicity, let's say no. Um, so that I convey the idea. Um, all of these emotional terms that I described before, a lot of things are emotional. All of this that I put in a description are emotional. Space is emotional term. Time is the emotional term. Death is an emotional term. Me, you, everything is an emotional term. Human is an emotional term. Clones is an emotional term. Nothing of it is logical. You, school is teaching us to think with laws. They say, you believe in it right now. I want you to believe in it. They're all teaching you emotional terms, which has another name, lies, because you cannot prove it scientifically. And my teacher, I'm thankful to her for that, was frank that even science doesn't know the truth, because the truth is the emotional term too. Science has a scientific paradigm. We have a modern scientific paradigm. So, why we experience this emotional term, so space, time, death? Because we have a small brain. Let's be frank, let's simplify this for the shortness of video. We have a small brain. We're small. My height is like this, your height is like this. We're just people. We're just people. We're not, I'm not a parakeet. I'm not the stable. I'm not anything else. I'm me. I have a small brain. I think with my brain. At least I think that I think. And a brain is a tool of evolution for surviving people like me and you. So, well, I did explain it before. You know, inside of the whole planet, sending of the parcel across the planet doesn't matter because it's still on Earth. But for us, it does matter because we are either there in Los Angeles or here in Japan. That's all. Now about why death or life doesn't exist. The same clever professor, a very clever woman, and she spoke with a very calming voice because maybe she was too smart. She explained that the paradigm of what life is. She gave us previous paradigms of what life is. The existence of protein bodies, growth, and other terms that we I'm trying to miss now. Um, Growth and breeding, and the way to disprove that. Not disprove, but add to it. For example, breeding is not the only feature of life. Because some living organisms, like virus, well, it's a too questionable term that breeding is the feature of life. Then growth. They would say the organism is growing, therefore it's alive, it's living. But crystals that we, with our dumb human language, call dead, eat a crystal, eat. they grow too. Crystals grow, but we call crystals dead, inanimate. So that falls away part two. Then the form of existence of mm, protein bodies. And there are exceptions to that too, you know. Sorry, maybe at this part I will mix something up, but she proved us that it's not true too. Even that it was like the latest paradigm that life is the existence of protein bodies. And then this was basically an intro, but the important part. She told us that the modern paradigm of death of an organism, or at least human, death of a human, is the death of the brain. The brain is made of neurons, nerve cells. The brain is made of brain cells, neurons, nerve cells. But what you can do every time you drink a beer, you kill some brain cells. Another example is when you cut off a finger, some people who don't have fingers, for example, they lose nerve cells with a finger. If you cut your skin, you lose nerve cells. But people still consider you alive because our language is designed like that, alive. Some people lose limbs, legs, arms, and everything, and they're still considered alive. So she was frank with us. She said it's modern paradigm that death is the death of a brain. But if we lose the brain all the time, literally, nerve cells, drink a beer and lose some nerve cells. Then, as mathematicians say, the proof from the opposite, it means that death doesn't exist. Of course it doesn't. Because if space doesn't exist, time doesn't exist, what is death? Death. Death doesn't exist because no one cares about your brain cells. Now about why we consider that I'm me and I'm alive and you're you and everyone else is everyone else. Because we have a brain, and here's the Brodmann area responsible for the feeling of being yourself. Yourself. I think I'm myself right here. I think I'm me. Because we're stupid, to be frank, silly. We don't understand everything else. If you delete this brain area from the brain with a surgery, you would get to the state that is achieved by some substances called, I hope Twitch is okay with that, ayahuasca or LSD. When a person loses the feeling of self, a person feels that any object is himself. Like Take a car. Oh, this car is me. I'm this car. This car is me. When you see a plant, you can watch an interview of Sting, the singer, about that. He experienced that and he said, I felt that a piece of, a strand of grass growing next to him on the ground is my brother, you know. So, if we delete this area, we lose the feeling that we are ourselves. We think that we're everything else. Okay, now let's come to the last topic. By the way, no, wait. Important information. I'm not saying deleting it. I'm saying it's important for survival of our own body that we know it. But we must not delete it surgically. We kind of ideally, to understand everything else, we must grow our brain, you know? Like really big, like a server farm working intensely to understand more than I am me, you're you. Okay, now that we discussed that you can do that without even developing a brain by just deleting this part, that some substances do. Now about clones. I have relatives that have a different opinion from me on clones, some skeptical ones. Skeptical, I mean, from my opinion. Uh, my opinion that my clone, who would be biologically me, and there are twins like that. Not all the twins are clones, but I personally know some. They're amazing. People mix them together because they behave the same, they speak the same, they look the same, and even if they dress the same, they're just like a mirror reflection of each other. It's amazing. You know, magicians use them for tricks. So when one of them walks, you know, another one disappears, and amazing. So they're basically same egg clones, as they called, uh, twins. Same twins. They're clones biologically, but they still have different parts of this. They know that I'm me, you're you. Your name is like this, and my name is like this. We're clones, but we're not the same. Uh, and I have a relative, my dad, that believes that clones are not the same. But I have a different opinion. As long as I believe that I personally am nothing important, I think that my clone, if you take a piece of my skin, clone me, make my clone, it will be me. It will be me. More than that, I'm half clone of my mother and half clone of my father because their genetic material mixed together. I believe it wouldn't matter if someone kills me or I die just by any causes. My clone will be still me, just without this Broadman area here. I forgot its number that tells me that I am me. I think my clone is me. That's my opinion. But his opinion, not my dad's, is that it's not you. It's not you. No, it wouldn't be me. I would die. So the solution for that I came up with an hour ago, in my at least my theory, a proposition. I heard this very clever scientist and programmist Stephen Wolfram. I asked him this question, and how to make people believe that their clone is them themselves, not their reflection, not their copy, but themselves. How to make them believe that their clone are them, and that if they die, they will still stay in this clone. And maybe we should also say that this clone could be also uh, not just biological, but an avatar in computer. There's now just popular trend of creating avatars of people, and people don't want to die. They want to live inside a computer after death, while the server of this program is avatar is working, and they will be alive. So how to do that? My idea is a simple solution. As I told you before, this area responsible for self identification, for understanding I'm me, you're you, deleting. No, 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 wait. Taking it somehow into a clone. That sounded too simple and wrong. I mean, training a person over time, maybe even instantly, I don't know. Telling a person that your clone is you, and maybe at that time delete this area that says that no, I'm not you. Somehow, with this area that says I'm me, you're you, modifying it, maybe translating, maybe connect. Oh, that's a good idea. Connecting it with wires, Neuralink or something to your clone, and like in a movie, Johnny Mnemonic or something, translating this to your clone, and then maybe deleting it in you, that you're a self, first version of yourself, deleting it in you. And after that, you or me that don't have any more self identification can live in our clones. And what you could do with that, you could have two people, or if you personally have health conditions and, let's be frank, like dying, and your clone is young and healthy, then if you die actually from a disease, your consciousness will stay. Your consciousness will stay in them. So basically, for you, it would mean that I remember that I laid in a hospital, but I never died. Okay? That's like basically eternal life. Yeah. That's all I wanted to say today, that we have emotional terms, even in science. And that is one of the biggest problems. Time, define time. Space, define space. Death, defines death. Paradigm, define paradigm. Clone, define clone. Our languages are created for lying. What we call thunder today, our ancient ancestors would call boom boom. And we're developing, and I'm just having my ideas. I'm not saying it's true what I'm saying. You do it yourself. There's no truth. Another emotional term, truth. Define truth. Uh, Numbers. Define numbers. Look, define numbers. A car from Jurassic Park. Yeah? One car. One car. Right? Define one car. Okay, look, it has dust. Right? One car. Hmm. Look, what do you consider a car? Now, look. Bloop. Is it the same car? No, it's not. It maybe it is. It depends on how you define this car. You define it with a thin layer of glass that they scratched off a car, or you define it without it also, or maybe I can break a wheel off of it like T-Rex in Jurassic Park. Without a wheel, is it the same car? It depends. It's an emotional term. Some would say it's the same car. Some would say it's a different car. A physicist would say it's a different car because it doesn't longer consist of all the atoms it had. A nuclear physicist would say it's not the same car. But a modern person would just say, no, it's the same car, just get a new wheel. That's all. That depends. That's emotional terms we don't know. That's all I wanted to say for now. Thank you and goodbye. And live long and prosper as always. Although Mr. Spock, for a logical creature, is too emotional in my opinion. But emotion is also an emotional term. So maybe he has a right to be emotional. Okay, live long and prosper. Goodbye. Thank you. Have a good time of the day.